To tell you that the best gifts come from the bottom is an understatement. From a kid sleeping in a shelter, listening to speeches, never realizing how great he was. But when he finally rose, he realized that the object of life is not fighting for yourself, but fighting for the individuals that's not strong enough to fight for themselves. And through fighting for them, you'll save yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hustle Up podcast. It is our pleasure to present the King, William Hollis, at this podcast. And we had him on about a year and a half ago, and you were already making waves. You were already trouble. But in the last year or so, you've published a book. You're shipping that book out. You were on the Impact Theory podcast. You've been making some moves.
Shout out Tom Bilyeu.
Shout out Bilyeu.
To my brother, the legend. The guy with the world's biggest garage. That is a garage. You shoot that.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
It is the most beautiful garage I ever. You can live in it. Like it's somebody's dream home.
That's cool.
Yo, that's awesome.
Beautiful, man.
What you been cooking in the kitchen?
Oh man, what I've been cooking in the kitchen. I'm realizing in this profession and as a speaker, man, it's so fulfilling. And you know, when you find that thing so beautiful, you think about the day when it ends. You know, some people don't like to think about that, but when you really love something, it's just like when you eating something that's delicious for the first time. Like, nah, it's almost over. I got one more bite. You start to eat it a little slower. Eat it a little slower, and you know that's where I'm at. You know, in my career, I'm just trying to stay as healthy as possible and be an example. I feel like right now, in order for the world to change, right now, it got to be a group of individuals that you know stand on codes and ethics and integrity. You know what I mean? I've grown a lot mentally. I've grown a lot as a man. The biggest thing that I'm taking in right now, King, is realizing that you know there's not really when you're trying to build something, no piece is bigger than another. You know, I'm 31 years old. I'm growing every day, but that's when it dawned on me that I was. You know, I was kind of headed in the wrong direction far as because coming up in the speaking game, I didn't do it a traditional way. I didn't really have no mentors like that. You know, Les Brown came, you know, at the tail end, and it was just to tell me that you got it. You know what I mean? But it was like just you got it. And he would give
motivation for a motivational speaker.
Absolutely. And I just always respect and love Les Brown forever because he always approached me as a seasoned vet. He approached me like you are him. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at, you know, this generation of me. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's a humbling you know, statement.
It's an honor.
Yeah, definitely. And it just made me you know, realize that I just had a lot more pieces to put together. And the main reason why, you know, I'm eating the way I'm eating is because I just want to be here and I enjoy what I do so much. I feel good about myself, and I just, you know, for anybody out there listening, you know, that's what it's really about. I mean, a lot of people are so miserable and stressed out that they literally waiting to die. Some people eating to die. You know what I mean? And I see it right now. You know, the world look like it's okay, but it's not. One of the worst things to be when you're alone in the world. Is being restricted from going outside. That's literally the sanity for some people.
Yeah.
Without it, it's nothing. And there was a lot of people, rest in peace to all the people who did die of suicide and mental health during the pandemic. That's a number that nobody talked about. You know, they talked about, you know, how many people died of the disease, the COVID. You know what I mean? But nobody talked about the suicide. Or nobody talked about the people who, you know, were sitting in the house, lost, you know what I mean? And that's what helped me during the quarantine. I grew, my career grew the biggest it's ever been during the quarantine because something in my heart and you know, I believe that the Most High definitely spoke to me and told me to go harder. And in the house, I really wasn't gaining that much from it, other than the fact of when I downloaded that speech, I know somebody received it. It was a life that was saved. And when, the COVID, started to, break a little bit and people could move a little bit more, I had my biggest season in the biggest drought of the world. And what it did for me, man, it slowed me down. I just realized that the calling that I have on my life, it has nothing to do with me, and it got everything to do, with the world. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to step. I don't want the light. I just want the ears, and I want to speak. In communities and cities all over the world, and grow into that mega speaker. But the mega speaker that still talks to the people, still answers his DMs, still respects individuals and respect what they got to bring to the table. In my 8 years in this industry, I've seen people literally praise individuals who never even read their message, never even said their name, never even acknowledged them. I don't care if it take a year to get through all of them. Take time to listen to the people who are putting you in a big house and putting you on the jets and getting your name out all over the world. So what I chose to do and the path I chose to take is the path of diving into the world with the people and rising with them. Because what I was able to create now, I'm an international voice all over the world now. I created this independently, not a contract signed. Right now, I'm planning a 30-city tour that I'm going to drive myself. I sold my car to do this tour.
I saw today you posted on your Facebook and said you got to, like, what was it? What exactly did you say? It was about driving your own tour bus.
Yeah, I said I'm going to drive my own tour bus.
And if you ain't doing that, you're not hungry enough.
I ain't hungry enough. I'm vlogging it. And I'm keeping everybody updated on it.
Straight.
And I'm gonna show people the hustle, man. I'm gonna show them, it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna vlog the long drives, the long nights.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, King, this is a part of my destiny. This is going all in, and I don't know, no, I'm not poor or anything, but I don't know if you guys know about putting together a real tour in 30 cities. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's Airbnbs, it's hotel. Most speakers have sponsors. William King Hollis doesn't have any sponsors. I'm an independent guy. I'm putting every dollar that I earned in my speaking career, up on the table for this tour. I believe in this tour. I believe in myself. I believe that my message is made for right now in the world. And I'm doing this to, show non-believers, bro, that, God is really real. And if you really have faith in yourself and you really give your all, I'm talking about put your all into it. It's a levels of success.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could get famous, you could get the big names, but it's level to success. And every level of success takes a new sacrifice.
Yep.
The sacrifice get bigger and bigger and bigger. And coming from where we from, you want to grow up and be a family man, but every day you fighting for your life. And when you finally get a family, it's unfortunate, but it's either two things. You got to focus on your career and neglect your family so you can feed your family, or focus on your family, give your family all your time and watch your family struggle. Two of the hardest decisions.
So how do you make that decision? Because I was talking to someone about this today. So it's interesting you bring it up.
Absolutely.
How do you look on, if that's the opportunity or the problem, what's your solution to that?
I tell people, you have time, you just have to make time. That's what I realized.
Mm-hmm.
I even took time now that I turn my phone off. I go home with my family, I turn my phone off as soon as I walk through the door. They say leave it at the door.
Oh, you leave your phone at the door?
And I leave it. I turn it off, man. I set it on next to my key stand, and I just get time to my family. You got to do that. You got to log off.
Mm-hmm.
You got to log off. And as long as you log off, that is really going to help you.
Yeah.
It's really going to help you. You can't be stressed out. And that has everything to do with the type of team you build as well. When you know you got a great team, people who are not really interested in making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's different type of individuals. Some people are not interested in making mistakes. That's just not something they like to do. They don't like to waste time.
Yeah.
And there's human beings out there like that. So when you got a team like that, I talked about in one of my speeches, I said, you can't love my business if you're not up when I'm up.
Yeah.
If you're not working when I'm working, if I'm up at 4:30 in the morning sending 1,000 emails to 1,000 universities, 1,000 schools, and you're not doing the same, how do you feel? How you feel that you're supposed to be next to me? How do you think you're supposed to work with me? Everybody in this world is looking for a way out.
Facts. Yeah.
And I'm looking for a way in.
There you go. There you go.
You feel me? I'm looking for I want to get in with the elite, the big dogs.
Yeah.
But I want to do it independently, on my own dollar, on my own decision. It should be a sin for a man to sell his dream for $1.
So what is it? So what is it that you would say you do? What are you going to be the best at? What are you going to go platinum in?
I want to be the best motivational speaker because I'm 31 years old. People don't realize that most speakers start at 40-something, 50
Yeah,
something.
typically older.
Yeah, where my projection right now is of the Tony Robbins, Les Browns, the ETs. My projections is, I mean, I did the Tom Ballou show now. Shout out to my brother, man. I did that. I did that already at 31 years old. You know what I mean? So right now, where I'm at right now, I'm the father of motivation in the future. I'm in the forefront. This is my lane.
What are you doing different? What are you, and obviously we know, but just for listeners who are viewers who don't know you, what is your sauce? Like, you know,
What's that special sauce?
Yeah, they say when you design something, you're not adding as much as you're taking out, and you're adding, but you're just switching things up. Yeah. So what about motivational speaking? Are you throwing some King Hollis sauce on to make it your lane?
To be honest, man, it's the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's never becoming Hollywood. It's always still having the ability. Sometimes I get on the bus when I go to a random city and I ride the bus and I talk to the homeless. They'll give me something that no other man or woman can give me. They give me something real, something that's emotional, something I feel. And sometimes they might be in the world, they don't even realize it. They might hear a viral speech. But by them telling me their pain, I create a message that I pray that can get to them. So I'm not taking their stories, I'm giving them an answer.
Yeah, and you're translating them for masses.
Yes.
Are you still freestyling?
Yes, forever.
Everything?
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So what do you, so quick, let's do a quick recap of how you got in this. You know, the last podcast that you were on of Hustle Up and even on the Impact Theory podcast, you really dive deep into your childhood and growing up and playing football and how you almost committed suicide and then how you went viral to 200 million views on YouTube. Could you quickly take us through that trajectory to get new listeners caught up? And then from there, we'll talk about the book and the tour and everything you've got going on now.
Well, the back end, the short back end of that story is, like I said, I injured myself, couldn't play football no more down in Reading, Pennsylvania. And, unfortunately, I ended up homeless. A teacher invited me into a classroom to speak. And after I spoke, I was walking back to the hotel getting ready to commit suicide, and the teacher called and said, "How much you charge to speak?" Right before I got to the hotel. And basically, I went to the hotel and searched Les Brown, and I actually searched motivation. And the Georgia Dome speech with Les Brown came on, and I loved his charisma, how he worked the crowd. It was absolutely amazing. And, they called me back a week later to do assembly. And when I did the assembly, it was a standing ovation. So, I just started, at the bottom, man. That story is definitely all over the world. It's something that I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm so far past now that I just realized the level where I'm at, as a man. And like it used to be talked about, when I talk about my story, it used to be talked about in pain. But now it's like, bro, I'm growing into one of the biggest speakers in the world. Like, bro, I'm 31. So you got to understand from all that, most of that stuff happened when I was so young that people ask me, Will, how do you go on? Because I don't give a fuck about that no more. You gotta, that's the attitude you gotta adopt if you really wanna, if you really wanna go to the next level, you gotta not give a fuck about anything that held you back in the past. And I'm not saying ever forget it, but never, don't take for granted where you are. Because what I believe the Creator wants us to talk about our wins. He wants us to talk about the great things that we do. Mm-hmm. And when I talk about, my past, I dive deep into a very spiritual place now, where I'm at when it comes to the world and when it comes to standing on stages. You know what I mean? So this is what I wanted people to take. With this opportunity to be on this platform, I want them to take a stand that they will no longer set in the stands and they're finally getting the game. Because I in my spirit, it's telling me that everybody must know this. You must dive into your potential. You must stop working for other people. You must not be afraid to go after something that's made for you. Because as long as you set as a slave or a worker, and I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with no individual who just like to be a worker. But what I'm telling you right now, if you can't own anything these days, in the times that's coming, you're gonna be a liability. You're gonna be a liability, and I'm not gonna expand on that. You could think on it. But you gotta be mentally strong, and you have to be independent. You must be educated. Everybody is rapping and dancing. Nobody is reading and writing.
Mm-hmm. I will expand on that real quick because that point really hits home. There's a book we talk about often. We mention it at least once an episode, and it's called Hard Times Create Strong Men. And it's this concept that, like you're saying, there's a lot of jokers out there, and we're in an area right now where we've just faced a pandemic for the first time. There's a lot of unsureness going on, and this is the time that you need to be a man and go out and create security, create a safe infrastructure. That's why, they say the man goes and builds a house, and then the woman makes it a home.
Absolutely.
Whatever your partnership arrangement is, we need to stop focusing on being the shit at GTA and focus on actually creating in the real world.
Yeah.
We have generations of young men that started out as boys and never grew up. And so now you have these adults living in adult bodies.
Yes.
And child mindsets.
Yes.
So all the good times and the prosperity and peace that we've reaped here in America has made a lot of people soft. That's unfortunate.
And man, that is the truth. That's why, I have a very large clientele of coaching clients, and a lot of individuals that I work with are literally programmed. They are literally programmed the way of the world. They don't have their own thought process. They don't think for themselves, and I think that's one of the most scariest moments in the United States right now, is because social media thinks for the world. Whatever is posted on the social media side, if it's popped up on the Shade Room first, that's what they're believing.
What's the popular narrative? And if it deviates from the narrative, now we're in trouble. Now you get shut down, blocked, shadow banned, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. If you stick to the narrative and you promote the narrative, you're acclaimed. But
yeah. You have it's funny you said that, because I'm really thinking about it. Like, every time I'm on this, I see people getting banned, shadow banned, for speaking their minds.
For being real.
And then people posting half-naked women shaking their butts, and people fighting and shooting at each other, and it's just staying on the internet, viral. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, you gotta unplug.
Yeah.
It's a time for unplug. And if you don't unplug, it's going to detonate in your face.
We talk about this a lot, the idea of consumption versus creation, and going from being a consumer to a creator, and balancing that out. If you ever find that you're falling into a state where you're just consuming all the time, and it doesn't always have to be bad content, right? Like I'm listening to a lot of books, I'm reading a lot of books, I'm watching a lot of TV, but now you're taking in all these inputs from other sources rather than observing, taking the time to figure shit out for yourself, figure things out.
Right.
And that was something Sadhguru mentioned as well. Never reads a book. I think you might have said it
he
too.
did too.
You don't read a book.
Yeah.
All observation.
But you did write a book. Let's talk about
There
that.
we go. Hustle up.
So I'm not gonna. I read the book Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad. That's one book I've read through and through. I also read Rich Dad Poor Dad through Napoleon
Classic.
Hill. Think and Grow Rich.
So you have read a few books.
I read a few. Those are ones that a couple of my big mentors had said.
Those are key. Those are key books. Yeah.
48. I checked out the Little Things of the 48 Laws of Power. But far as just reading books, no, that's not that. I read those probably in my 23, 24 years old. I read those, but it was beautiful because I was so shocked how much stuck with me. And, I learned that when I read, it was like embedded into my DNA.
Yep.
It was like, certain things. I wouldn't just say, you ain't got it, you don't have to read. But once you realize that you are a creator, once you realize that you got something different to bring to the world, you got to accept it. And when I accepted mine, I detached myself from anything else or any other creations because I was so focused on trying to understand my gift. You know what I mean? Trying to understand like what it is I'm bringing. The other day I was on the internet and a kid said, I had a snippet of my intro of Rise of the Black Messiah, my new album I'm working on. And he was like, bro, you just give me DMX vibes. And it was like probably 2 days after you passed away. And I go back to what I was talking about. When you used to listen to DMX, some of my favorite tracks and some other people's favorite tracks was the tracks that he prayed on. You just felt it. You just felt it.
It's almost like you're a vessel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the things, we spoke at an event last night very briefly, but Jonathan mentioned a lot of people there's a common misconception of being afraid to fail.
Yes.
But the reality is that a lot of people are afraid to see their true potential and excel in whatever their field is. This could be sports, it could be medicine, it could be speaking, it could be any number, whatever your thing is.
Yes.
They're scared to reach their full potential because now they've set a bar higher.
Yes.
Now they have to continue to perform at that level to maintain expectations or reverse engineer the process to make it easier, whatever. But the expectation's been lifted. What are you doing now to stay hungry while you're full? Because I hear you're doing the tour, you're driving your own bus. How are you maintaining that routine, that momentum, that energy when life is going grand?
Man, listen to me, man. I come from the trenches. I ain't never comfortable. A kid from the trenches can have $100,000, $100 million, and he still feel uncomfortable. It ain't about the money. It ain't about it. That don't do nothing. When you spend half of your life, I just spent more majority of my life in the trenches than I did in this good space that I'm growing in and I'm getting in now. So you think I'm gonna remember this more than I remember that? It's impossible. I remember everything. I know when everybody else working. That's why I'm still up at 2 and 3 in the morning creating. That's why I'm sitting in the closet. So my wife and son, I'm not waking up, creating speeches, 5, 6 speeches a night. Because I remember when I slept in that Taurus. I remember when my stomach touched my back. I'll be damned if I go back to that. I don't care about my this win. I care about my next win. That's me. When I walked off Tom Belew's set, I was thinking about my next win. How I can get on Joe Rogan. How I can get on all these other shows. How can I elevate?
We're gonna tag Joe Rogan 1,000,000 times in this.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if we can get it to him.
You know what I mean? Like that's my goal. Like I was born hungry, bro. I was born hungry. I don't know nothing but grind. And I just tell people, you won't outwork me. There's no speaker on this planet who can, one, outwork me, and for two, transform a crowd in my style like I do. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
We're not
There's
gonna.
only one Will Hollis.
I know, and we can attest to that.
Yeah.
We had you speak. Well, that was probably a year ago, right? So we had you speak at that event,
It was
and
October of 2018, bro.
yeah, I remember everyone in there from all walks of life, of all ages, all ethnicities, all cultures, all religions. It's an eclectic crowd, and we had 225 people in the building, and everybody left with goosebumps. Everybody was inspired, and a lot of people were even brought to tears. So, I've seen what you can do in a room, and it's something that you do have to tap into, and that you either have or you don't. And being able to tell that story, to harness that pain. You talked about how you were channeling and now it's channeled, or you were healing and now it's healed, and you're at a different point in your life. And Tom Bill, you pointed this out on his podcast with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to take that pain and turn it around and then wrap that into a story that you can tell to inspire and impact others, that takes just an order of magnitude more strength and ability than anything else, than just getting over it.
But let me explain it to you. You know when they talk about like jiu-jitsu, they say it's like a little training method they do when they hit one certain spot of the body until it reaches new levels of pain, and they keep hitting it to show you that your body can take more pain than you thought you could take. And I think in a way that's how I look at that. You get what I'm saying?
Just repetition of pain.
Repetition
of pain, but also finding new limits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Finding new limits. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I really push myself to so many different levels when it comes to motivation. Like, I know that people don't, let me break this down to you guys. People don't believe that speaking industry is a competitive industry. Yes, it is.
110%.
It is it's full of arrogant, cocky, egotistical individuals. But you want to know why I separated myself from all of that? It's because nobody saw me coming.
Yeah.
I wasn't the speaker with $1 million going on the internet flashing $100,000. I was a kid creating speeches in the back of a tourist in an AMC movie theater, emailing them to Basquiat Picasso. And then they heard that voice, and that voice stuck. It stuck. And the first speech I was on was I can't even remember. It's been so long. This is my first speech. It was Young King, my Young King speech. But it was the YouTube video was called something else, and I can't remember it. But it was a small snippet of my Young King speech. And out of all these great speakers, Tony Wright, all these great speakers, everybody in the comment section was like, who is that at 2 something? It was right in the times, like, who is that? Then he came back and he posted the real speech. And I've been creating speeches ever since. Those speeches that I've been creating, you got to understand, I started creating stuff that was basically free for me to create. So the thing that I could do for free is what literally freed me.
Wow.
I want to know how you're staying in touch with the man that you were 15 years ago, with the man that came up out the mud, came up out the struggle, and got it when you're experiencing success and when you're experiencing winning. All this good stuff's happening to you. How are you? I know you can't forget, but what are you intentionally doing to remind yourself where you came from?
Be honest with you, King. I just stay in tune with the news, my city crime rate, murder rates. I watch Crime Stoppers. I watch everything that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? I just pay attention to what's going on in the world. And I told you earlier that it's not about me. It's not about me no more. I realized that it's not about me no more. So when I realized that what's going on in the world, these are the messages I got to create. I got a new speech dropping tomorrow called Combat Steroids. One of my most powerful videos ever is just teaching youth and people to love themselves and understand that the drugs that you put in your body is not even made for human consumption. So I created that speech because I saw an article of a kid who passed away of basically a steroid overdose.
Oh, wow.
I guess it was, when you have the bubbles and you keep a bubble, if there's a bubble in the valve or something like that, it can go up to the heart, pop the heart.
It's like the bends.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just inspired me to create the message. That's why I say these messages definitely channeled. It definitely be channeled I've been in the studio with you. I've been in the studio with my bro plenty of times, and Jonathan will tell you this is it, and all I want to do. I don't mean to sound cocky when I say this is me. I say that I'm the best, and I say I have to be the best. And the reason why I have to be the best because I'm the only one that's going to leave the door open. No other man has the heart to leave the door open.
What does that mean?
That means you got to have an undeniable talent that you can never be challenged or never be afraid to put anybody on.
Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. Give game, even if...
I know nobody can never be me.
Exactly, yeah.
I could put you in front of everybody. You're just going to be you.
This is a great topic. You introduced the plug. You are the plug.
Yeah.
You're not hiding your friends. You're not hiding anybody. You're introducing everybody, networking, net weaving, and bringing folks up underneath you, around you. This is great. This is motivational.
Yes,
That is the key of emotional security or contentness in yourself. What are you doing for the folks around you? Who is leveling up? Well, there was a quote I saw recently, and I'll butcher it, but you're not a real boss until you're leveling up others. That's the big one. And you can level yourself up all day.
Well, for me, King, my family, my friends, my brothers, you boys, people like y'all, those are the type of people that make me happy and keep me grounded. So when you have that and you love the way they make you feel, you're gonna love them and you're gonna want to take care of them. You want to make sure they okay because they make sure you okay. They ain't got nothing to do with what they do for you. It got everything to do with just their presence and how they believe in you and how they and what type of energy they give to you.
We're community-driven, evolutionary animals.
Absolutely.
We need support, love, interaction.
Absolutely.
We need humans.
So you gotta what I'm doing. I am appreciating.
Yeah.
The things that I have around me.
Gratitude.
Yep, that's it. That's what I'm doing.
That's it.
So can you give us a little excerpt from your book? A little piece of your book?
Well, I left my. You want me to just?
Well, or just an overview of what kind of person in life would that book just hit them at the right time and change them?
Well, this book is a little piece of my story from the beginning, and it goes into the educational part. So this book breaks down. I wanted to give people a one-stop shop, an opportunity to learn how to break into the speaking industry without going through the middleman or dealing with all these other guys. Basically kicking the door down for yourself and learning that you don't really need that many people because the internet has cut out the middleman.
Yep.
I say all the time.
Yep.
It's completely cut out the middleman, and I just created strategies inside that book that's going to open your mind. And it's a lot of people who know how to speak, but they don't know what type of speaker they are. And in this book, it breaks down different styles of speakers. And when you read that, whatever style that you read is going to gives an example of what type of way they'll start speaking or what topic you like to speak on. And what I tell people is everybody's a speaker. You might be passionate about Star Wars. You're passionate about Star Wars. You could build a fan base on speaking to just people that love Star Wars. If you can communicate, you can communicate anything.
Yeah.
If you have an interest for it, it's another person that has an interest for it. So I'm just basically taking the shackles off people and showing them that you can open your mouth and change your life too. I just didn't want to be the only one that used this strategy, because the strategy that I created was on the go. It was like, you just putting some pieces together. Let me put this with this, and let me put this with this. I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning until I started to master it. And I started to see, I was like, oh, okay. I'm seeing how this works. I'm seeing how this play. And then I just put it all in words. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I basically, got a buddy that helped me, put it in the words that I wanted to put it in. And basically I stayed up literally every night for from 8 o'clock to 3, 4 in the morning for about a month straight.
When was this? During the pandemic?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I speak about my story. I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
My story is the only thing that I talk about. I speak about truth. I can't talk about nothing phony.
Yeah.
And my style of speaking is so different from the average speaker. I'm not really put in a box.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm extremely versatile, and everybody. I get my speeches off of emotion. Like when I went to the Hustle Up room, my biggest emotion came from Elijah Mom.
Yeah.
That was my. I get signs in the room that tell me like this is what you go to, and it makes it so natural because I'm looking at Elijah Mom, and I'm thinking about my mother.
Yeah.
So the emotion that them people felt, it was almost like they was literally at a funeral. Wow. They literally like I was giving a speech to the people I love the most. And when I saw his mother's face, it was so surreal because I saw her pain, and it was the same pain I had when I lost my mother. So it was backward. It was a very, very spiritual night.
Yeah. It
was a very spiritual night. But let me get to this.
Some yin and yang.
Yes, let me get to this Kindle and bring up this. So the main thing I read, I'm gonna bring out some of my favorite.
Let's go. Run it up.
But no, man, we go into a lot of difference. I got public speaking classes, public speaking clubs. It's basically teaching people how to build their fan base. Basically teach them how to, build their community of followers. For me, biggest way I built my community is through this thing I created called Royal Nation. Royal Nation is a group of it's a group of individuals that's powerful in their communities all over the world. It's not just in the United States. It's literally like a brotherhood, and the sisters involved as well. And it's basically taking everybody's gifts and trying to put them all together so we can conquer our dreams. I learned that a lot of people, like I talk about in a lot of my speeches, I say everybody think they're the whole piece, the whole puzzle, but they're only a piece. And I realized that, like I said, when I go back to the people, I'm talking about the people. When you talk about the people, if you build with them, you're in the middle of the community as soon as you step off the plane. I can go to London and get picked up by one of my people, one of my teammates, Royal Nation. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like having a fraternity, but it's a fraternity of real life individuals. Real life individuals. Like this individual might have to go out to Los Angeles. Look at my homie out here in LA.
How do you stay in touch? Like a Facebook group?
Yeah,
or?
I got a whole type form. It's a whole type form. It's like a type form.
Type form?
Yeah, type form.
Type form?
Yeah, bro. I don't do none of the back end with computer stuff. That's my team. I'm just King Hollis, the speaker. But on the back end, my team, they do all the type form and send all that stuff off to Royal Nation. You just log on to Zoom every Thursday at 7 p.m.
And you're on there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's all they log.
Is that free?
Huh?
That's free?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But no, man. Like I said, the main thing about my book, bro, is basically just techniques, bro. It's just basic techniques to break into the game and some secret sauce for me on how to partner with different YouTube channels and build your fan base if you have that power. See, the thing about me, I'm not afraid to really tell an individual that, some people are they're not made to speak. You know, I don't lie to everybody. Everybody is not a speaker. Some people are visionaries. You know what I mean? They're like, with best example I can say, they're like Rick Rubin's. A lot of people don't want to be Rick Rubin no more. Everybody just want to be Jay-Z. You know, everybody want to be a star. But I realized and figured out a way to build my fan base and find the Rick Rubins. You feel what I'm saying? First, when I start off, I'm not ever going to stop you from opening your mouth and speaking your story. But I can never, you are who you are. If a person steps on the stage and craps in a bucket and we got an event of 5,000 people, the way I operate and the way my mindset is, I can see how Clint think. I ain't got no room for no mistakes. I don't like no mistakes. I need you to execute. So as a leader, it's about putting people in the best position to win. And what I'm doing is, with everybody I'm working with, I'm putting them in the best position to win.
It's something I took from Gary Vee, but you're as a leader, as a CEO or COO or owner of a company, your mission is to create a team of people who are empowered to perform their job.
Absolutely.
Empowered to live their life and perform their job. And happy, enthusiastic team members create emphatic customers.
And I'm showing you don't need no certificate with me.
No.
I don't want your degree. I just want your passion.
Not even going to ask.
I just want your passion. Give me your passion, and I'm going to turn it into something. Give me your passion.
Or skill set.
Yes.
Or skill set.
Man, King, listen. What I'm building right now, I'm going to be able to feed a lot of mouths. I'm going to be able to have agents in every country and continent around this world representing William King Hollis. That's advocating William King Hollis in every city, every country around the world. I'm literally doing it now. I'm planting something so gigantic that they haven't seen it all. Motivational opera. My new show that I'm creating called Therapy Night, that I'm going to be having my first show in New York this summer. Therapy Night is a live blues band, and everybody know King Hollis Freestyle. I'm going to have a live blues band there. We're going to have sticky notes, and the people are going to write down their problems, whatever they're going through. They're going to put the problems in the hat. They're going to bring me the hat. I'm going to pick a sticky note, and I'm going to freestyle a speech.
You're not just planting seeds. You're tending a garden.
Yes. I know. They ain't did what I'm doing. Nobody ever did this. And they can't. That's why I can tell you. You can't. That's when you got something special, when it's unreplaceable. You can't make another copy of this. It's a one-stop shop. It's one key. It's only one key. And you got to be yourself. You won't make it with me.
Authenticity.
That's what it is. That's how you win. That's how you win. Therapy Night is going to be revolutionary. Get ready for that. New York is one of my favorite homes. I'm heading out there on the 26th. And also I'll be in Boston, Massachusetts on the 20th, speaking for the mayor and the Black Lives Matter.
Yo, that should be what you do at the next event we may or may not be got in the pipeline. If we could set that up, that would be tight.
Talking about get a live band.
Yeah. Come on, bro. We in Atlanta. What you talking about?
That'll be a wavy show, bro. And I'm definitely ready for it. I think it's something I think it's revolutionary, bro. I think for those people, nobody really will know the person name that I'm creating the speech for. But if I can inspire that person that wrote that message and make them realize who I'm talking to, that's powerful. And nobody else in the room will know who I'm talking to, but that one person will. So it could be, I can do, 5, 7 of them, pull them out the hat. We might not get all of them. But I think it's something, it's just revolutionary, and it's just very different. And it's something that the world needs right now. It'll be beautiful for a person to go out and be able to have a drink and write their problems down.
Well, chances are you're going to see the same set of, let's just call it 20, 30, Absolutely. 40 problems, whatever they are. It depends on the crowd size. But those are going to apply to multiple people in the crowd. Mm-hmm. So one person wrote it down, and you are going to be speaking to that one person in particular.
Yes.
but it's going to apply to
everybody.
Well, maybe it's not everybody, but it's going to be very specific to several people.
Yeah, you're
right?
leaving with with 7 super fans.
Right.
So what's your tour going to be called?
It's called The Best Gifts Come From the Bottom.
Okay, awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And so where can everyone follow you to peep that and watch your moves?
At my website at kinghollis.co. You also can go to my Instagram at William King Hollis and go to YouTube. You'll find everything on there as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much all I'm all over the place right now. I'm in a lot of different lanes. I'm doing some movie scripts, voiceover scripts, doing some getting closer to getting some work with Nike very soon. You know, I'm just growing and staying under the radar, man, and you know, just trying to show the explosion, man. Not talk about it no more, man. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Just show it and put.
Well, we've seen it, man, because we met you maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and you've only been going up since, despite the pandemic, despite everything. You've been consistent, and that says a lot. Yeah, continuous improvement and massive consistency and discipline. That's amazing.
And one thing I want to leave the people with, I want to repeat, because a lot of people are getting it misconstrued. The best gift come from the bottom is not my life story. I'm 31 years old. I cannot write my life story right now, people. I can't give it to you yet. Even though it'll still be amazing right now, but I feel like it has so much more to grow. I want to bring the beautiful flower out on it. But if you grab this book, it's a one-stop shop to breaking into the speaking industry. I came together with a lot of great minds. What I learned was through trial and error. So basically, if you're an individual sitting in a room right now and you saying, "Hey, I want to be a motivational speaker," that was me too. You're not rich, you're not famous, you don't have 1 million followers on Instagram or YouTube. You're just an individual who want to give your gift to the world. And the advice I give you is speak your truth. Don't try to talk like another individual or sound all corny. Be you. This world needs real, authentic, and real at all times right now, because they watch fake news all day. They're engulfed. The United States is engulfed. The world is engulfed in fake news and just fake propaganda. And I believe that the greatest thing any individual human being can give this world right now is their story. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be a great speaker to do. You just telling your truth. One more tip I want to give that I get this question all the time. How do you break stage fright? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to ask you a question first. If somebody comes to your house, your home, and they don't have a home, and try to give you some advice on your home, are you going to take it? Okay. You got to look at the stage the same way. You came in my home. I'm the keynote. Your job is to only listen, conversate, then put your shoes on and leave. How you feel when you're driving down that road is none of my concern. But while you're in my house, I'm going to give you what I want to give you. You have an equal right to get up and leave if you like. Own your stage. Your stage is your home.
Yeah, dominate the stage.
Don't allow anybody to make you feel uncomfortable in your home.
I look at it as one of those things to overcome as well. There are few feelings on planet Earth that compare to getting up in front of a group of people, being nervous to get up in front of that group, and doing well, and coming off saying, like, hey, I just accomplished something. I got over a fear, or I hit that next level. You want to talk about sacrifice. One of those sacrifices is going to be overcoming that fear of the unknown. And we all have it. And whether it's speaking or whatever it is for you, whatever that thing is that you fear, overcoming that and saying, this doesn't hurt me. This actually propelled growth can be a tremendous catalyst.
And believe me, man, I've seen people in your house when you're on stage, and people aren't trying to get out of there. So
it's legit.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I don't want to spoil too much, but we got some things in the pipeline. If anyone, you guys know where to follow him at William King Hollis or kinghollis.co. You guys know where to find us. Man, this was amazing. This was motivating, inspiring, and it's been amazing to like tangibly watch your trajectory over the last couple years. And I'll tell you, and I know Clint is too. We're pretty critical on people who say they're going to do things. It's like, all right, let's see. And we vouch for William King Hollis. He truly.
I want to do something for y'all
been
too,
doing
man.
it.
I want to freestyle a speech for y'all before I go, man. I feel like I do this with Jonathan everywhere I go. It's like this, like take me back to my grinding days, my basement days when I was with my brother. But I'm gonna do the best gifts come from the bottom. I'm gonna create something around that, and I'm gonna start now. Just a second. Tap it. You know they say the best gifts come from the bottom, and I know this to be true. Understanding the trials and tribulations that we go through just to make it to the next level. We're gonna hear the echoes of the doubters and the whispers of individuals who never believed in themselves. Some of us stop in our tracks. Others run towards our destiny as fast as we can. You see, I realize that life sometimes can take you away from who you truly are. It'll make you believe that you're less than, or that you never amounted to anything. But let me tell you, that's not true. To tell you that the best gifts come from the bottom is an understatement. From a kid sleeping in a shelter, listening to speeches, never realizing how great he was. But when he finally rose, he realized that the object of life is not fighting for yourself, but fighting for the individuals that's not strong enough to fight for themselves. And through fighting for them, you'll save yourself. The best gifts come from the bottom.
Amen.
That's lit.
King Hollis, ladies and gentlemen.
Love it.
Man, thank you so much for that. You guys know where to find us at HSTL UP, www.hstlup.com. Thank you again to King Hollis for coming on episode 2. Got more shit in the pipeline. I'm fucking stoked. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Clint.
And until next time, hustle up.
Hustle up.
That's what we have.
What a killer way to